G'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my video. I've just forgot to put my lab coat on, so I'll put that on while I'm talking to you. And I'll show you the size of the canvas there in centimetres and in inches. And also, we'll get some colours going up the screen there as well, just so you can see what we're going to use in this tutorial. Now this is going to be sort of a reflection tutorial. A nice, like an emerald foresty reflection into a lake or a stream or a pond or whatever it may be. It's up to you. Remember, your painting is your creation. I'm just showing you what you can do, and you can lay it out and change the colours up a bit if you want when you do your version of this, okay? So let's get into it. We'll get on over here and work out how I'm going to start this off to get it to finish the way it has finished. So I've got my soft-bodied white student craft flowing white paint there just to prime up the centre of my canvas. Whether your canvas is gesso prime, pre-primed, I'm still doing this. And I just want to get this middle done. Believe it or not, this canvas I'm working on right now is a pre-claimed canvas. Oh, that's very weird, isn't it? It was a painting I did and I wasn't too happy with it, so I wanted the canvas back, so I got sealing white and painted that over the top of it, ready to use again. So that's all around this area done in the flow white and retard. And I'm going to keep working from the middle and pick up my yellow green from a tube. This is going to mix with that white, and I'm just going to crisscross the middle out. That white underneath was just like to prime up the canvas. So I'm just doing this, getting this colour in there, okay? I'm going to put all the colours I want in there before I start blending. So I've got that, and before I do any more to it, I'm just going to pick up some of that white because my stream's going to be about here. So I'll get that across, just something like that for now. Now I'll just wipe the excess off that brush, and I'm picking up titanium white out of a tube. Good dollop of it on the brush. And I want to just venture out from the center here a bit, just like that. See, I'm using titanium white out of a tube because it's got more structure to it and it's more thicker in density. Now I'm going to grab a blending brush and we'll just blend that down. Having a towel to wipe your blending as you go. So I'm stamping it in, finding out, all right, need little twists as well. It's just so as it's gradually getting lighter from the center and darker of this greeny yellow green color to the edge there. Now that's blended in. Coming back down here, I'm just going to pick up the rest of this flow white. There's still some of this titanium white left in the brush and this other yellow. I want to just get the sky in now, so it's creating that lighter colour of those green values, the yellow green values, and I just want to get that around there, just something like that. And I'll quickly scrumble that and blend it into the centre colour there as well. Alright, so we're just doing that. You can blend it if you want. Actually, I've got my blending brush still here, so I'll just blend that around. Alright, I've picked up a brush, a flat filbert brush, and I've got some terry green and cadmium yellow light just to mix up this value here. I did want forest green, but I accidentally picked up the terray green. So if you've got forest green, you can use that. Just so I can get the type of foliage that I want. So how dark is this? It's not too dark. So I want some sort of the center about here, and I want to get just some light. Now that undercolor yellow green isn't dry. I'm going to see if I need to dry it or not, but I want to kind of get stuff blending down into the middle of the painting here, like umbrella tops here, just for this foliage, and some on the other side now. can have the opening as big as you want. Now I'm adding, just pulling some more of that yellow into that colour mix there. And what I want to do now I've established the centre canopy is I'm grabbing this and I'm just doing, whoa, not too thick. I want these very airy and light in the background, just like that. And they're making those little tops of trees and shrubbery and foliage out there just in the distance. They're a little bit lighter than this first bit we put in there, and it's just adding some distance within our centre there. Now I've gone and got the forest green. That's the shade that's on there now, so I'm mixing up the forest green with some yellow, alright, just to see what we're going to get. Now I want it a bit darker, so I'll just come off here. There we go. Everything on here is dry, and I like to just give this a sense of detail, but not too thick, not too loud. We're just detailing. Keep your brush a bit damp so it's going to transfer from your brush to the canvas a lot better. I want to try and get you beginners to up your level, and you know, some of this can just dot in there just like that. See, it's very easy, and then we'll just highlight certain areas of this foliage. So we'll get this done to the whole lot here. I'm keeping them more, if anything, leaning into the middle of the painting to draw your eye into the centre of your work. So our centre's finished with that. Now I'm going back to the lighter colour. There's what I've just stamped on. And I want to highlight some of this now. And if it's not quite yellow enough, which it isn't, I want to add more yellow. So I've added more yellow again, and I've got to mute it now because I don't want it to clash with the background. I want to mute it with some white. There we go. And we're just going to find the pockets that we need to do. Maybe a lot in the centre as well. Okay, we've finished the distance. Now we just want to put the stuff that's in front of it down to this bank and reflect it into the water. So let's have a look at what paints we've got. We've got the, I want to grab the forest green and get it to a tone of green, adding the cadmium yellow light to it. Because the rest of it's going to be this colour now. We don't want to up and change the colours too much and make it too confusing. So first, I will probably just bring off the painting, bang, 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 and I'm blocking all this in. Leave some open bits, it doesn't matter. A tree isn't always full solid, but this is coming over what we've just done there, okay? And it's sitting that back. And if anything, I'm dribbling it into the centre of the painting there, all right? But it's to cover that. Now I've dried that, and I want a different value of green to put some different smaller shrubs in front of that. So we're not going to keep using forest green and yellow because we're just going to have the same greens in my eyes clashing. So I've got French ultramarine blue and the cadmium yellow light, and we'll get some of this to a different value of green. That's just going to block in some front shrubs, so just block them in, bring them down to the bottom where you want to go, probably about there I'd say. Also I want to put in the reflection of that into the water. So roughly, I'm going to go about there. Okay, and block that in the water as well. Block it in, that way your water's done and you'll get a beautiful sharp reflection in the water as well. So we want to pick up this colour and reflect that down as well. Now I'm not doing the reflection the same size. If anything, I'm squashing it up a bit because depending on the angle, things can change in reflections, okay? So that's about there or about there. Now I don't want this too opaque. And I want to just merge that block in colour with there. Now finishing that, I want to grab a smidgen of this colour from the palette, which was this one here. Let's get that a bit darker, there we go. Getting those values in there just like that. I've just pulled there we go. So you're pretty much up to this stage now. I've dried all that, it doesn't need to be wet. Take your time and dry it, whack the kettle on, get yourself some biscuits on a saucer and have that while you're waiting for your work to dry. Or if you've got a hairdryer, give it a bit of a blow job, alright? Not too hard to do. Now, I'm going to get me darker colours to put the black freckles in next, alright? So I'm sort of letting you know what's going to happen. Now, I've got a Deerfoot paintbrush. It's a 440 Deerfoot. It's like a scenery brush. I've got the black and I've pulled it out and I want black freckles, black dots like that. I do not want blobs like that everywhere like that. We want it like that. So I want to put a lot of this up in here. Don't go in the light yellow bits where you can see through because that's the break within the foliage and the canopy. Nice word that, isn't it? Canopy. Yeah, I'll sleep under the canopy tonight. I think I'll call this one the Emerald Canopy. Be sure not to put this over this detailed bit you did previously and in there as well. It's only these two colours. So I'm going to stop there. I don't want to go into that green there, that lighter green in the centre here. Alright, so we've just virtually freckled over all those block-in colours. Okay, the next stage, I've dried that a bit. I want to get the horizon line shadow there. So use a stick, a ruler, find out where your horizon is. I'm going to put mine about there. And I just want to get a black line there, nothing too fat for now. I'm just going to rest this on there and come all the way across. Okay, that's my horizon. That's the water's edge, okay? Now, you need to, this part here is where you start detailing, like you want to bring bits in, making, mainly the bottom of bushes is dark, okay? So the top, same at the bottom, reflecting in there. This will just give you, it's not a realism painting, but it gives you that sense of, wow, that's quite nice. It's bullshit effect. It gives you that, my God, look at the bullshit involved in that work. That's what it's doing. And some of these, I'll get to them later, but virtually tassel this, get the bottom of your shrubbery. So that's the tree, and these are like shrubs, I suppose. But we want them all coloured, making different bushes within those. Okay, over that freckled area. Hang on, let's get this dark under there. Dark. Transfer the difference in the water reflection as well. Also, where this colour and that colour, you want to get some sort of darker perspective between those. Okay, I can dry that. So we've added all the darker shadows where you want. You can see what I mean, because this here, we don't want things to look flat. We want things to look like they're coming out with life. So that's what this darkness is doing here. We've got the water surface here, and when it's all detailed, these bushes are going to look like they're coming out and they're alive. We've got action in our art. So here and here were our block-in colours. I've got the cad yellow light to create this colour we're going to do now. So let's give this some life. Don't touch this stuff out here, remember, okay? So I'm going to do this to all this green, top green area. Now remember where this block in and that block in met? And we put a bit of darker here. We're coming to that bit now. So I just want to bring this and sort of dribble into that a bit, allowing some depth to stay between this bush and the one in front of it. This shadow here I'm talking about. That's what I'm doing here. I'm stopping just before the other block in colour. I've dried that. Now we're going to put some areas of canopy so we can put the trunks in. Then we're just going to highlight it. So grabbing the, is that burnt umber that I grabbed, Ian? Yes, burnt umber. Yep, burnt umber. And our cad yellow light to make the dead grass, the dead undergrowth colour, okay? Get some of these trunks coming up to those areas you've just created the canopies for. Now that's the colour we just put on. I want to get it a bit more yellow now, and we're just going to set everything highlighted and set those trunks back within the canopies there. And let's start seeing where you want your actual, this is the actual bush now, what we're putting on here. All this is highlighted colour. Dance it within those browns, the dead colour there. And we want to, the edge, we want to sharpen that edge from the centre back into this bush that we're painting now, okay? See, that's the colour, that's what we want. We've got the black freckles in there creating the depth. We've got different values of green, creating the light hitting it, and you can see how it's looking like some sort of bush forest tree with light hitting it in different areas. I just want to go here where the trunks are, like I'll get the top of that canopy done, but you know, there's just bits coming in and out, putting all this within perspective and depth. Okay, some more paint on there. Now just to finish these off, I'm grabbing the yellow, and just not everywhere like we just dot, we're not going to dot all over the place. We want to highlight edges and pockets. Okay, how's that looking? Yep, so I'm looking here. I just want to highlight bits where the light's hitting. Okay, where else can I see some? Just around here. Mainly the edge. Where's my edge of that one there? I don't want to go into that bush there, otherwise you're going to start mixing everything together and changing the feel of it all. Just finishing this side, and like I'm keeping the bottoms dark and if anything the top of everything brighter. So I don't want to go filling all this bright, otherwise it'll kill that void and the amount of depth in there. And depending how you're going with this, you might have to tune it up by covering some of it up with the darker colours. See how you go. Play with your work. You're allowed to make mistakes and fix them. We all do. Grabbing the front shrub colour, I've added more yellow to that, and keeping from the top, but don't kill that shadow in the background one. We're going to start putting this bush in, and play with those black shadows you've done there. You can use them to create, I'll just show you on this one here, you know, we're bringing this down, and now I want to bring this in front there like that, so it's creating pockets of depth within your shrubbery and bush and whatnot. And with the bottoms, don't just stop at the black like that, sort of dribble little bits over it. It's okay to do that, just pockets of it, okay? Just the odd little pocket of it, because we're going to come here later and detail the bottom very easily. Now grabbing that colour, and we want to mute it down, change the green values within that front shrubbery for the highlights now, okay? I'm just working on this shrub. Now this is the actual shrub. Find that brush that creates the foliage you like. I'm now using a small flat. And what have we got here? I don't want them all like little dots. I want them like leaves. That's better. And this is just going to here and there, not go over the whole lot. Okay, while I'm here with this colour, I'm going to put them, you want your brush very dry, and you want to scratch down roughly all those highlighted colours within your water reflection, just like that. Get the paint on your brush, wipe it off kind of thing, and yeah, fill them in like that. It's a lot of fun. Grabbing back to this colour to put the reflections of the above tree in. Make sure it's not too... And where are we? We're sort of here, we're working within this area, don't forget. So we're going to start scratching in just within the blacks. We'll get that blob off it. We want it nice and scratchy, just like that. We don't want it solid though. We want the blacks within there. Come down a bit there. And then we'll grab the yellowy one again just to put the highlights where they've got to go. So that's all we're doing for the water. And then we'll grab the yellowy bits again. Where are we? And then we'll trace those elements in the water. Get it a bit brighter than that. It's not quite bright enough. There's a lot of this stuff within the bush, mainly where that edge meets that lighter one as well. And I'm just sort of putting it on and pulling it downwards just to give it that pull down reflection looking you get in the water. And that's looking reasonable good. It's not the perfect, but it'll do for the painting, you know. Just getting this side pulled down as well. just wherever. Mainly the closer to the horizon line you want to get more exact. I'm just putting these elements in this bottom lower part, so they're there. And if anything, I'm keeping them straight if I can. Doesn't matter how you do it so long as it's pulling down straight. Now we just want to finish this front area here. Just finishing this side off. Okay, I'm just looking at it and I want to put something extra in the sky. So I'm just grabbing some titanium white and we'll put that, I don't know, let's just say way back there. Is that reasonably round? And then, of course, replicate that in the water. Somewhere about here. I'm just twisting my thumb in it and just like that, okay? I just twisted it on it and teardropped it down. Just to finish this off, I've got some paint on a knife. Oh God, I hate doing this. And just right in the guts of that black there, see, like that, and sort of getting a fine white line across there. Just so you're separating the bank. Now finishing it off, I've got the white on a script liner with this muted colour here that we highlighted. I've added a bit more white with that, and I'm just sort of putting some ripples within the water, okay? Very finely, but keep them horizontal. And this is sinking down the reflections that are in the water, okay? It's just adding some movement. See there, we're getting a glass, if anything, movement on our water. Don't want that little flick there. Keeping them very straight. I'm using this ruler. The thinner you can get these, the better. Okay. Just over the edges here, doing those scallops. Just randomly, just to separate the reflections and give it that more realism look. And maybe down in this area as well. But that's what I'm going to do to the rest of the painting. And I'm just getting roughly this colour on this side and doing the same, merging them just to give it some sort of reflection on the water or surface. I'll just sign it here and put a frame on it. This paint pen I'm using, you can buy them from Officeworks or your stationery shop, and just ask the people there where would I find paint pens, and they come in different thickness tips. Okay, let's whack a frame on that. Yeah, that's not too shabby. We've got a simple emerald reflections in the water, or an emerald foresty sort of thing. Simple, time consuming, but also very effective. Now be sure to look at the links in the description below. There's one for grayscales, Anthony Gray there. He does beautiful tutorials. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's got a lot to offer you beginners out there, okay? Now, there we go. If you like what we've done here today, tell your friends and subscribe and thumbs up. But if you don't, tell everybody, all right? All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on you.